Good morning, everyone. I'm Raghav Edara, and I'm going to be talking about clean drinking water. So, I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, in India, and I'm at my senior year at Lalaji Memorial Omeka International School. I have a keen interest in medicine, and in the future, I want to become a doctor and revolutionize the healthcare industry. I take biology, chemistry, and math AIHL at a higher level at my school. Apart from school, I'm also a volunteer for Green Karna, which is an organization fighting climate change. I'm the founder of my school's debate club, and I actively participate in United Nations student leadership conferences. Now, this is an image of unclean water. For instance, if everyone in the audience drank water like this just for one day, 50% of us would have diarrhea. And that's just one of the waterborne diseases out there. Now, 3 in 10 people in the planet don't have access to clean water, which means they have access to water like the one in the previous image. That shows the extent to which how many waterborne diseases they could have. Now, as I mentioned before, some water sources that we use on a day-to-day basis may have pathogens in them. These tend to be killed before we drink the water in water purifiers. However, in rural areas and in underdeveloped countries, such technology is not available. So they take water from wells and other sources that may not be pure enough and that may still have pathogens in them, which causes a significant number of diseases. So elderly people are not much infected by these diseases. Younger individuals are often the ones the pathogens take over. So in 1 hour on 8 of the presentations like this, 200 children died due to unsafe water, just like I mentioned. So in 20 seconds, one kid dies. That just shows the significance of how important clean water is for everyone in the world, especially children. Now, our world is coming up with ways to solve things like this. First of all, we started inventing water filters. Like in India, a man invented a water filter that costs around 30 cents. It basically uses activated carbon to remove organic nutrients from the water. And this allows water purifiers to be created at a lower cost so it can be used in underdeveloped countries. The activated carbon is activated by either heat, so using heat and steam, or by using strong acids and bases, which allows it to be cost effective as well. There's also powdered mixes, like the image you decide, which is created in the US. So the powdered mixes actually work in a way so it removes the bacteria in the water and makes it into clean water. So as it says in the packet, each pack treats about 10 liters of water. So there's 3 major parts of the packet work. The first part is a coagulant. So you can think of the coagulant as a positively charged particle, which basically attracts the negatively charged dirt particles to it, forming a lump. You can think of it as a positively charged magnet attracting negatively charged pins. And they basically form a lump. After that, the flocculant wraps up multiple coagulants together. So you can think of it as a trash can wrapping up the coagulants with the dirt particles in it. And then together, because it has so many dirt particles in it, it's relatively heavier. So it's more dense and then therefore sinks to the bottom of the can. And then the chlorine or activated carbon in it purifies the water, allowing it to be about 99% free of bacteria. Now, the third way, which is used in some countries as well, is graphene. So most of us have heard of using desalination to make fresh water from salt water. And since fresh water is of course scarce, it is a good idea. But before graphene was invented, this was relatively expensive. And it was done by reverse osmosis, which means the salt water was kept in one side of the container and there was a membrane in between, and the fresh water was collected in the other. These membranes were relatively expensive, but now when graphene was used, the organic materials and the sodium, it can't enter the other side. It can't cross graphene into the clean water side. So people still get clean water from salt water in a cost-effective way. So those are the technologies that are now being used to help treat to get people to get clean water. However, we can't keep on using technology like this, and we need to look into the future. And that's what I'm doing in an organization called Green Karna. So we basically are planting trees around the world in order to fight climate change and a lot of other problems. So I'm going to be telling you now how planting trees can actually help get clean water. So first of all, forests restore and they protect the watersheds around cities, and this allows them to naturally purify the water and makes water treatment more affordable for underdeveloped countries and even developed countries. So for instance, New York invests around $100 million annually in protecting its upstate watershed, and that filters approximately 1.4 billion gallons of water for the city. And this investment was for the city's need for a multi-billion-dollar filtration plant. So if trees can substitute for that, they can probably be used in other parts of the world as well. And that's not the only advantage. Trees also help absorb water. That's what we all know. But then trees can also release this water in times of droughts. And those act as natural water sponges, basically. So cities like Houston and Bangalore in India had floods. And they had relatively fewer natural sponges once we looked into the number of trees in it. While San Diego had more trees. And then we found that its urban forests provided approximately $160 million worth of built-in infrastructure like walls and dams in flood benefits. And that shows the extent to which trees can actually help in giving clean water for all of us. So I am part of an organization called Green Kanha, which we are planting trees around different places in the world. We have planted approximately 250,000 trees already, and the 100,000 tree was planted by the President of India. So this helped restore water levels in various cities around the world, and the water table level has significantly risen. The groundwater level rose by approximately 40% too. Our centers are in hundreds of countries around the world and are all free of charge. We can all plant trees, but in order to plant more and to extend our capacity even more, we can all donate to plant more. So there's various organizations around the world that are accepting donations. One such organization is the one I'm volunteering in. You can Google Green Kanha and you can support it if you want to. These are my citations. And then I would like to thank the Johns Hopkins Health Leadership Conference organizers and the team for giving me this amazing opportunity. I would like to appreciate my family for cooperating with me throughout all the conferences and all my research. I'm so grateful for all the audience members for patiently listening. And I would like to thank my biology teacher, Ms. Sophie, my chemistry teacher, Ms. Sindhu Arun, and the head of extracurriculars, Ms. Ganga Raghavan, and my student coordinator, Mr. P.H. Srinivasan, for all their help in my research as well. My contact info, my email ID is raghavidera1@gmail.com. You can feel free to contact me for anything. Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity.